Hey guys, I'm Amit Kumar and welcome to this video in which we are going to talk about installing and setting up VS Code. Now VS Code or Visual Studio Code is a streamlined code editor with support for development operations like debugging, task running and version control. So VS Code is actually a code editor, but just unlike other code editor, it provides plenty of other features to us. Not only that, we can enhance the feature of the VS Code editor as well. It is free for private and commercial use. So you can use VS Code not only for private purpose, but also you can use it for commercial purpose. It provides plenty of extensions that lets us add languages, debuggers and tools to our installation to support our development workflow. So as I told you, we can enhance the features of VS Code and these extensions helps us to enhance that feature. So we can add as many features to our VS Code as we want. It can support as many languages as we want. We just need to install that certain extension. We can also add plenty of other features to VS Code. All that you need to do is to install that specific extension. Now you can download VS Code from the following link. So this certain link, that is code.visualstudio.com, you can go to that specific link and you can download VS Code and then you can install it on your system. It is highly recommended to always download the stable version of VS Code. VS Code provides plenty of versions to it, but it is better to install the stable version because that is tested and verified version for our development. Once downloaded, it is straightforward installer. Just like any other next install kind of installer, the installation process is very straightforward for VS Code. Now once you install the VS Code, you just need to open it and it will give you an interface something like this. Now on this interface, you can see this extension icon. The current icon over here which is highlighted is nothing but an extension icon. By clicking on it, you can install any extension to your VS Code. Following extensions are useful for web development. So throughout this course, we are going to use these extensions a lot, and I have installed on my VS Code all these extensions. So I would recommend you to install them as well. But all their extensions are not compulsory. Some of the extensions are optional and you can go without it as well. Like there is one HTML-snippets extension, there is a prettier code formatter extension, there is a auto-rename-tag extension, and there is a LiveServer extension. Out of this, the LiveServer extension is the most crucial one, and I would highly recommend you to use this extension throughout this course. So it's pretty much of talk, and now it's time to see the things practically. Hey guys, so here we are on our Chrome browser, and the first URL that we are going to visit is code.visualstudio.com. So as soon as you will visit to this specific URL, you will get this download button and you will get this download for OS. Now it depends on the specific operating system you are currently logged in. So as I am in Windows, it is showing download for Windows, and it will always show you the stable build. Now you can click on this down arrow and you can select the specific operating system you are currently in, but by default this website will show you the download link according to your operating system. So I am clicking on this download for Windows and this will start downloading the Visual Studio Code for my operating system. So as you can see, the download is over. You can directly click on this exe file, or you can click on show in folder to go to that specific folder and double click on the installer. So I am clicking on this exe file so that my installation can start. As soon as it will start, it will ask me to accept the agreement. You can certainly go through this whole set of statements for your agreement, but I am agreeing, I am accepting the agreement and clicking on next. So you can select the folder where you are going to install your Visual Studio Code. You can click on browse and select the folder as per your choice, and I am keeping it by default and clicking on next. Now it will ask you whether you want to let the setup to create the program shortcut in the start menu folder, and you can keep it as such. And if you don't want to create the start menu folder, you can click on this checkbox, don't create a start menu folder. I'm just keeping it unchecked and clicking on next. Now from here you can select few options, like if you want to create a desktop icon, you can check this one. If you want to show the context menu or the shortcut menu to show the open with code option, you can check these options. If you don't want it, you can keep it unchecked. The rest I'm keeping it as default and clicking on next. And finally I'm clicking on install. Now this will start installation and it will take some time to install Visual Studio Code in my system. Once the installation is complete, you will get this pop-up. Now you can uncheck this option if you don't want to launch Visual Studio Code right now, but if you want to launch it right away, keep it checked and click on the finish button. Now the Visual Studio Code opens in front of me, and this is the Visual Studio Code interface that I can see right now. It will show me the release notes. Now this depends at the time when you are installing it. Right now it's showing me the version 1.72 for September 2022. Now there are few extensions that I want to install in my Visual Studio Code. I have shared you the extension names along with the shortcut. Now you can click on this extension option, which you can see right over here. Now it can show you some of the required reloads, and it depends upon the extension that you have installed already. Now what I will do is I will just copy paste the extension code over here, the extension ID over here. Now the first extension that I am going to install is for HTML snippets. I will click on it, and this extension allows me to add HTML code by just typing in some shortcuts. Now just like you can see over here, if I type in title, it will add the title tag. If I type in BOD, it will add the body tag, and it's very handy when you want to quickly code the HTML tags. So I am installing it. It will take some time, and once it is installed, it will show me this disable and uninstall option. Now this shows that this specific extension is already installed. Now the next extension that I want to install is Prettier. So I will copy that specific code which I have shared you, and I will paste it here, and it will show me the Prettier code formatter. Now this specific extension is very useful when you want to format your code. It quickly adds the white space and the tab space that is required for the code formatting. I will click on this install button, and this is installed successfully. Now the next one that I am going to install is auto-rename-tag. Now these extensions are actually not compulsory for you. If you want to install them, you can certainly install them. Now the first one, that was HTML snippets, is helpful to add HTML codes quickly. The second one, Prettier-VS-Code formatter, helps you to format the code quickly. Now this one, auto rename tag, is really helpful when you are renaming tags. So if you will rename the opening tag, it will automatically rename the closing tag. I love this specific extension, so I am installing it. Now these extensions are not compulsory for web development in VS Code, but they are very handy. Now the last extension that I am going to install, and that is really handy, and I am making it compulsory for all, because I am going to use it throughout my HTML, CSS and JS crash course. So I am installing this LiveServer extension. Now this actually is really helpful. So let me install this, and once all the extensions are installed successfully, it may ask you to restart your VS Code. Now I will recommend you to restart your VS Code if you want these extensions to work successfully in your VS Code code editor. So all that you need to do is just close this one and open the VS Code. But before doing that, I am right clicking on this VS Code icon on my taskbar, and I am clicking on this pin to taskbar option. Now I will just close this, and I will click on this icon once more so that it can reopen in front of me. And here's my VS Code ready with all the extensions that I want. So all that I need to do is create a new folder where I will keep all my HTML, CSS and JS code. So that marks the end of this video. See you soon in the next video. Till then, thank you and take care.